This is actually a really good topic, so let's get into it more. So the comment about the union thing was saying that my mother has had a union or otherwise really good paying job since the late 1980s when she was in her mid to late 20s. And I said that something my mother does that makes me insane is that she'll look at me and go, well, when I was your age, I worked bad jobs. I did this, I did that too. And it's so not the same. And the boomers do not get it. So let me break this down for you a little bit. In 1988, my parents bought a house that was about 2,000 square feet. It had a garage. It was 2 stories. It had a full basement and attic, and that cost $8,000. And granted, it needed fixed up a little bit, but it was a house you could live in while you fixed it up. And if I put that in an inflation calculator, $8,000 in 1988 would be $20,344 today. When was the last time you saw a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-story, full attic, full basement garage house for under $21,000? The house I bought with my then husband in 2012 cost $72,000, and that was shortly after the housing market had crashed. And today on Zillow, about 11 years later, that house is now worth over $300,000. So no, the economy's not the same, and inflation is insane. So to look at people and say, hey, you should just do what I did, it doesn't work anymore. And that's the thing that Gen X and boomers are not absorbing. What you could do with a few $1,000s back in the 80s, buy a house, have multiple cars, and have a really comfortable middle-class life, you can't do anymore because we've made housing a commodity. And then add that with an issue like picketing to form unions. Okay, first of all, if you're in a place like Walmart, they will literally close down that Walmart and open right outside of city limits if a union is able to form. But if you even say the word union at a Walmart, you get fired. And they are not the only company to do that. They are just the most notoriously known company to do that. Now, let's take into other considerations that when somebody would be able to picket, it is reasonable to assume that they had savings to keep the lights on in their house and to keep putting food on the table. And, heck, they probably even owned their house or could otherwise keep making the mortgage payments with their savings, or maybe even with their partner's job. You really, really, really cannot do that anymore. That's definitely deliberate so that we cannot picket and get better salaries for ourselves and get better things for ourselves as an entire generation. And if you were able to do that and you were able to rise above all that and found the perfect job and the perfect place and all those things, good for you. But that does not erase the problem for hundreds of thousands, if not millions upon millions of people that are your age or younger. I am just really dumbstruck by all of these comments that are like, oh, you should have picked a better degree. You should have done this. You should be making that. Like everybody telling me I made the wrong decisions instead of looking at how the economy has changed and acknowledging that it's not the same place that the boomers took over. You can't picket and protest and demand a better life for yourself and your family and your children in a world that has made it to where you can't afford to do that or you will starve to death. And I really don't think a lot of the older generations get that. If we went out to picket and protest, we would not be able to pay rent because we don't own our houses. We would not be able to buy food because we would have no money for that. We have no savings to live off of. And if you have children, it's doubly and triply impossible. And I really don't think you guys get that or want to acknowledge that part of the conversation. We don't have the same world that you took over.